Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, we shall proceed shortly. Thank you. Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, is arriving. May we kindly rise? Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, with your permission, may I please ask your guests to take their seats. Thank you. Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Honorable Ngwalu Jumane Magembe, and Honorable James Kinyasi Milia, Deputy Ministers for Foreign Affairs and East African Community, respectively, Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Yusuf Mdolwa, Chief of Protocol, Your Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Ahmada Al-Badawi Mohamed Faki, Ambassador of the Union of Comoros and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Heads of Diplomatic Missions, International Organizations and other members of Diplomatic Corps, Heads of the Department of the Units, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. It is my great honor and pleasure to host you this morning here in our beautiful capital city of Dodoma, our political heart. A city that continues to grow not only as a constitutional capital of Tanzania, but also as a center of dialogue, diplomacy, and shared purpose. That this gathering takes place in Dodoma for the first time is not accidental. It reflects how the center of governance, dialogue, and the partnership has firmly taken root here. On behalf of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, I warmly welcome you all. Karibuni sana and feel at home. It is now my honor to invite our first speaker to offer brief welcoming remarks. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Ambassador Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation.
Your Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Chief Secretary, Dr. Ambassador, Dr. Moses Kusiluka, Honorable Ngwaru Jumane Magembe and Honorable James Kinyasi Milia, Deputy Ministers for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ambassador Dr. Samuel William Shelukindo, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, responsible for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Stephen Mbundi, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, responsible for East African Cooperation Affairs, Ambassador Said Shaib Musa, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Your Excellency, Dr. Ahmad Al-Badawi Mohamed Faki, Ambassador of the Union of Comoros and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps in the United Republic of Tanzania, Excellencies, High Commissioners, Ambassadors, Heads of Diplomatic Missions and International Organizations, Heads of Department and Units from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation. Can you all stand so that the President sees you? I want the team from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mheshimiwa, hiyo ndio timu yetu ya Wizara ya Mambo ya Nje. Nimetaka waone. Asanteni sana. Heads of international organization, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. That's better. Kazi na utu. It is a great pleasure and honor, Madam President, to join you at your invitation at the State House today, here in Dodoma for the first time, for the Sheri Party, for this very important annual diplomatic event that is in your calendar always. Excellency President, your presence here today is a clear testament to the enduring friendship and partnership that we have always valued and have been providing in your leadership that unites us as your Ministry of Foreign Affairs and you as a diplomat number one in the country in the United Republic of Tanzania.
Katika Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Roho ya umoja huu unaendelea kutuongoza katika safari yetu ya kisiasa inayowakilisha nchi zao na taasisi zao nchini Tanzania. Hivyo kwa kifupi, Mheshimiwa Rais leo unakutana na dunia nzima katika sehemu moja hapa Dodoma. Mwaka 2025 umeakisiwa kwa maendeleo ya kidiplomasia na kuakisi ushirika wa pamoja wa Tanzania na wabia wake wa kimataifa. Tunaendelea kuendeleza maya ya taifa letu katika mazungumzo rasmi ya wazi na wabia wa nchi na nchi. Mwaka 2025, Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania ilikita mizizi yake katika mahusiano kuendana na sera mpya ya mambo ya nje na vipaumbele vyake. Hivi viliwekwa wazi vikipewa msisitizo katika diplomasia ya uchumi,
non-aligned standing and development cooperation. These efforts, Your Excellency, were guided by you, Madam President, and your visionary leadership, whose commitment to constructive international open dialogue and engagement continues to elevate United Republic of Tanzania's position regionally, continentally, and globally. We congratulate you, Madam President, for that. Your Excellency, Madam President, reflecting on the year 2025 more broadly, I was accorded the rare privilege and great honor to continue serving as your Minister for Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation during your second-term administration. I remain deeply grateful to Your Excellency, Madam President, for your renewed trust in me personally and the confidence level you have always given me. I have no enough words of appreciating this great honor that you have extended in my career. I say, Mheshimiwa Rais, asante sana. I would also like to take this opportunity in front of you, Madam President, to thank all the members of the diplomatic community here in Tanzania for their continued cooperation and support that they've provided me personally and my whole team in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I once again reaffirm my commitment to discharge my duties together with the team diligently with renewed vigor and to work closely with all the diplomatic community members and to ensure that their tour of duty in the United Republic of Tanzania is both productive, fulfilling, and a very memorable one. Excellency, Madam President, the second half of the last year reminded us all that change is the only constant. At home here in Tanzania, there was unorthodox and unexpected political disruption following the very regrettable events of October 29th during the general elections. These events, Madam President, impacted our country's standing and image globally. Here at home, we witnessed riots and attacks in both public and private properties, including sad moment of loss of lives. And while abroad, we witnessed disturbing developments of increased polarization, diminishing funding cuts, and global economic uncertainty. Our foreign policy and our Tanzanian diplomacy were put to the test for the first time in our history since independence 64 years ago. Madam Excellency President, upon my reappointment as your foreign minister, I received many calls and written messages of encouragement and solidarity from many of our close friends and allies. Some included concerns too, while others asked what happened to Tanzania, a known cradle of peace for the last 64 years in the region since its independence. Others submitted their messages through diplomatic channels to you, Your Excellency, while some, unfortunately, through inappropriate platforms and spaces. I shared with you, Excellency, Madam President, as diplomat number one, each message that we received. For me and my team in the ministry, every message mattered. Every voice was heard and acted upon. All we required, as you said previously, was space of time interval to address each one of them appropriately and respond to it accordingly. On the 28th November, you instructed me for the first time to meet with all the excellencies around this room in order to explain the same to them. That was my first meeting as the new minister in this term. With your able wisdom, Madam Excellency President, and guidance, and upon your instructions and directives, I actively and extensively reached out to all and engaged capitals, allies, majesties, and friends who all welcomed your message with open arms and hearts through the special envoy. Madam Excellency President, to those who needed more clarification, I provided it and shared our narrative. With those narratives, where those narratives differed from ours, I gave them a detailed explanation with supporting evidences. Finally, we were well understood as a nation, and the United Nations agreed to provide space for healing and recovery via your inquiry commission, which I clearly explained to be followed by reconciliation through Your Excellency, Madam President, strengthened for our practical approach, which you clearly mentioned in your speech during the launch of Inquiry Commission, who also met this diplomatic community present here today. Madam President, I also registered our concerns with those whose conduct was inconsistent with our playbook, the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961, and fell short of long-standing diplomatic traditions and decorum. These too were well noted and received with a feedback provided to you, Excellency. No opportunity was lost and no avenue spared, whether it was a telemeeting with Commonwealth ministers, virtually or bilateral visits, or in the margins of other international conferences. I reached out with your instructions with the same message, Your Excellency, that there is a return to normalcy in Tanzania and the lives of Tanzanians, and that our government is taking bold measures to fix what was tested but not broken. The message was very loud and clear that we stand stronger as a nation, united in our healing process and unified in our recovery. Madam Excellency President, I commend Your Excellency's leadership, consistency, and clarity in your message throughout my journey, which I went around to meet different leaders to deliver this message. We managed to navigate the complexity under your leadership and endured difficulties and sustained momentum. We echo your promise of never shying away from any engagement, and let's have an open dialogue with respect, but in ways and manners that respect our political space, our mutual interests, our dignity, heshima yetu, our values, traditions, and culture. This is consistent with the pillars and principles of our Constitution and foreign policy of the United Republic of Tanzania. That is what makes us Tanzanians, a unique identity that we pride ourselves globally. It would be a remiss for me, Excellency Madam President, not to mention and acknowledge all our gallant ambassadors, high commissioners, and diplomats abroad representing our nation. They have been your very strong foot soldiers in diplomacy for staying on course and actively engaging host governments, partners, and people of goodwill with Tanzania with the same message globally. To them we say asanteni sana waheshimiwa mabalozi 50 mnaowakilisha Tanzania nje ya nchi katika ulimwengu mzima. As we move forward into 2026, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation remains steadfast in its commitment to strengthening strategic partnership, promoting Tanzania's interests, and contributing to the regional and global peace and development. Excellency, Madam President, as stated earlier, my role was merely to set a stage and welcome you. But before I welcome you, I would like now to welcome the Dean of all ambassadors and high commissioners here in United Republic of Tanzania. So, Mheshimiwa Dean, karibu sana.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Avant de commencer mon discours, on va procéder à une séance de prière. J'inviterai mon collègue Argentino pour une prière, mais aussi personnellement pour une prière pour les musulmans. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma inna fi man hadayt. وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا من الخير فيما أعطيت وقنا يا ربي شر ما قضيت. اللهم حفظ هذه الدولة خصوصا دكتور سامية سلوه حسن ووزير الخارجية محمود ثابت كومبو وكل الدولة التنزانية. اللهم احفظنا واجعلنا مطمئنا قلوبنا في هذه البلد الميمون. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Argentino izia